Welcome to Expert to Classroom, Course Management and Faculty Identity. Each week, we start with an outline of our time together, as always, and we will be doing a check-in at every presentation. Then, followed by an activity, a review of academic calendar and semester tasks, as well as a teaching challenge for you to do on your own. And last, an exit ticket to provide us feedback on how to make this learning experience better. For this week, the check-in is going to have two components. The first, your week as the weather. Share with us your week as a weather report and conclude with a forecast for next week. The second is going to be provide a teachable moment. Reflect on your time this week when you had an interaction with a student that made you pause, rethink, redesign, or appreciate your teaching. Share that experience and what you've learned. For our brief presentation this week, we are going to have two topics, one being faculty identity and the other about teaching and approaches in the classroom. The first one is going to be identity as self, then faculty identity, and we'll move on to an article on how novice and expert teachers approach classroom management differently. Identity as self refers to how one integrates their faculty role into the entirety of their identity. Utilizing the article, Strengthening Teachers' Professional Identities Through Faculty Development, we will look at three ways individuals form their identity. The first, looking at an introspective level where how individuals understand themselves, how they interpret experiences, and how they present themselves and wish to be perceived by others, and how they wish to be recognized by a broader community. Another way is to form an interpersonal and intrapersonal lens of how people view themselves as different or similar to others, derived from a perceived membership and roles in an organization and the interactions with personal agency and choice. Furthermore, specific roles we are assigned or choose provide layers to our identity, such as parent, mentor, researcher, teacher, all of which may vary in relative prominence at the different times in our lives and our careers. In Zane Berg's article, Facilitating Computer Conference, Recommendations from the Field, he created 4 rules for the online instructor: pedagogical, managerial, social, and technical. We are going to look at these roles as a larger sense, adjusting technical for a larger support, as all faculty provide support, whether technical or campus resources and assistance to their students. The first pedagogical area focuses on an instructional content as well as the components for assessment and communication with students. The second, managerial, talks more about how you will organize, create procedures, the administrative functions of teaching, also additionally to setting the tone, rules, and also creating assessment criteria. Third would be social, which is about promoting the relationship with students, developing connections, developing groups, making those connections that build on to professional development for your students. And then the last, support, is creating an awareness of resources, whether technical, using software, using a learning management system, how to use a particular mechanical implement or tool, or a lab protocol, or also just talking about the interpersonal aid that you provide to student success by talking about particular resources available on campus through student affairs or community and campus partners. Taking those two ways of looking at identity, we have 3 questions. And in a discussion, we would say to choose one of these questions for you to reflect upon as our prompt. So the first one is going to be, take a moment to write one sentence on how do you think your students perceive you as a teacher. A second option, the interactive aspect of socializing with others influences and shifts teachers' own perspectives of teaching and how they view themselves as teacher and professional. Do you find this to be true or false, and why? And then the third question is, why are you a teacher? Take a few moments to reflect on any of these question types and encourage you to stop and pause to either document this, write this down, or if you are following along with our Google form interactive, feel free to respond to that in the question area. Our second topic for today is going to be from an article called How Novice and Expert Teachers Approach Classroom Management Differently from Edutopia. This is a 2021 study that was done between expert and novice teachers, and from that came 6 common differences between novice and expert teachers, as well as some tips and advice about how to better your practice as a new teacher. So the common 5 differences is that they're listed here on our slide, but in the article it talks about seeing the big picture, seeking root causes, finding your place and tone, getting adaptive, and balancing authority with autonomy. Additionally, the advice is going to be about planning your environment, creating norms, that not every situation one size fits all. Think about considering the unspoken, developing relationships, and when to pick your battles and battle when necessary when you have student interactions. So the link to the article is going to be in our Google form as well as available on our site. And feel free to read the article and then come to the Google form and give us some perspective on what you thought about the article. And with that, we also have some reflective questions that will be available to you. So our second activity is going to be classroom reflection. And the first prompt is choose one of these 6 tips for faculty to take into consideration and consider it for the rest of the semester. Why are you choosing this? The second prompt is going to be using one of the 5 common differences between novice and expert teachers. As a new faculty, what would be your greatest struggle and which do you consider not to be an issue? So again, take a few moments to read the article. It's very short, and also think about an answer or response to either both or one of these questions. Our next slide, we're going to start talking about the academic and calendar semester tasks like we do each time. Now, at this point, we've already covered 2 major topics, which is add drop and attendance verification, but we have a few more added to the list, being midterm examinations, spring teaching assignments, and incomplete deadlines. Some of these are still a little ways off, but while we're here, we wanted to bring up incompletes deadlines. Now, as a new faculty, you have not given out any incompletes, and so this is a perfect time for you to be able to talk to your colleagues, your chair, your dean, and get a sense of what incompletes are, how you're going to handle them while you don't have the responsibility of maintaining that and following up on any incompletes that may still be out there that will then have to be responded to by the deadline. So incompletes, you may not have any right now, but this is really a great time to start thinking about how you want to handle that, and that's why we bring it up. So more to come, but then after this, midterm examinations, spring teaching assignments, and there'll be a few more tasks as we go. Our last component is going to be the teaching challenge for the week. This is your weekly opportunity to do something new in the classroom. Again, this comes from the book 33 Strategies, and we have aligned 2 of these particular challenges with components in the book. Challenge 1, we're going to suggest that you help students find study partners, that or share STC resources for assistance, such as the STEM Center or the Writing Center. Challenge 2 is going to be approach 3 to 4 students before or after class and check in on how they're doing. See how they're, if they have any questions, anything academically, any guidance that they're needing. And this concludes this session for Expert to Classroom, Course Management, and Faculty Identity. Thank you for your attendance. At the end of our Google form, we will have a component for an exit ticket for you to be able to provide us feedback on this session and series and any questions that you might have. Thank you very much, and we look forward to hearing you asynchronously through the Google form. And as always, please feel free to contact us at digitallearning@stcc.edu. Have a great day.